Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of USPBL Baseball on the USPBL YouTube channel. Today, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers are facing off against the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers in this Sunday afternoon Lego Day here at Jimmy John's Field. Hi, everybody. I'm Leo Ortel alongside my broadcast partner, Rich Borland, to bring you the call for what should be another good contest between two very solid teams. Start time of this game originally supposed to be 1 o'clock p.m., but the game was moved back by 15 minutes due to some inclement weather that could be on the way. So we'll hope to get in as much baseball as we can today and hope that the weather holds off. If you didn't tune in to last night's game, you definitely missed a good one. The Westside Woolly Mammoths battled the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in a very close matchup. In his USPBL debut, we saw Luis Contreras toss 5 innings of great baseball while giving up just 2 runs and striking out 10 back on opening night. And in his second start yesterday, he faced off against Mammoth starter Philip Walby, who was making his USPBL debut. And ironically enough, Walby matched Contreras' 5 innings with 10 strikeouts, but differentiated himself by not giving up any runs over those 5 innings. And last night, Contreras not quite as sharp as Walby. Contreras threw just 4 innings, giving up 3 runs, did strike out 6. And despite Walby's strong start, the Hoppers did threaten in the 9th, scoring 3. But were unable to complete the comeback as they fell to the Mammoths by a final of 4-3. The Hoppers will look to bounce back today as Noah Goetzies takes the hill for Eastside and will battle Jerry Salisbury of the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. Goetzies made his USPBL debut against the Unicorns a week ago today on May the 12th. Threw a very solid game in that one. In his 5 scoreless innings, he threw 55 strikes, 13 balls, definitely a ratio that you like to see. And an interesting note, never reached a 3-ball count. Goetzies tallied the win and will look to put the Hoppers back in the win column this afternoon. For the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, we will see the familiar face of the left-hander Jerry Salisbury. After a solid first season that featured Salisbury's 3.70 earned run average, he earned the opening day start against Luis Contreras back on May the 10th. It was a short outing for Salisbury, who threw just 4 innings, but only gave up 2 runs while striking out 6. After a 1-2 start to the season for Chris Newell and Birmingham-Bloomfield, they will look to add a few more wins to their total as they look for their 3rd straight championship this season. The story so far in this season has been primarily pitching. As the hitters continue to get more at-bats at the front end of the season, we will see more offensive production. Back on opening night, the Hoppers struck out 13 times, and the Beavers struck out 16 times, some numbers that you don't typically see, but tend to see a little bit more towards the beginning of a season. The Hoppers entered the game with just a 197 team batting average, but their record stands at 2-1, which still leads the Beavers, who come in at 1-2 and have a solid 292 team batting average. It was the Diamond Hoppers who won in their first matchup against the Beavers back on opening night, and time will only tell who will come out on top in this one. And Rich, I'll send it over to you now. Good to be back on the broadcast. You did a few by yourself. Looks like I missed a couple of good games.
Yeah, as you said in the pregame, all pitching so far in the 2019 USPBL season. Looking for more of that today between Goetzies and Salisbury. Both of these pitchers with some good stuff in their arsenal. We're excited to see exactly what they do out there on the bump. We're going to head down there for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll give you the starting offensive lineup there for the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Once again, Rich Borland alongside Leo Ortel with you for this Sunday Fun Day afternoon matinee contest between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. And we welcome everybody back here to Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland alongside Leo Ortel, the broadcasters, with you for today's contest. And on the mound for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, the 1-2 Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, is Jerry Salisbury. Salisbury with a four-seam fastball that he throws about 78% of the time. He's got a curveball and a changeup that he'll mix in on occasion. And then here and there he'll toss that slider into some batters. 33% of the time he throws that on an 0-2 pitch, but that's about the only time we'll be seeing that from the left-hander. In terms of the lineup he'll be facing today, the shortstop, Kevin Watley, getting things going for the Hoppers in today's contest, was 1 for 2 in last night's game against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Batting second, the third baseman, number 23, Wesley Jones. He was 0 for 5 in the contest. Batting in the 3 spot, the designated hitter, Brian Davis. Davis is 0 for 3 in the game last night, but looking to turn things around after a slow start to 2019. Bryce Peterson, the right fielder, he's batting in the cleanup role today. Pat Adams, the left fielder, he's number 19. He'll be batting in the 5 spot. Batting 6th, getting his first start in the USPBL, the center fielder, number 27, Ryan McCarrick. Batting 7th, the first baseman, number 20, Zach Gray. He was batting in the 8th spot last night. Moved up here to number 7, and in that 8th spot, as he switched with Gray, that's, of course, the catcher, number 13, Thomas Lacongo. And then rounding out this Eastside order, one of the newcomers, the second baseman, number 3, Joe Radzewski. And it looks as if we are just about ready to go. Of course, this game starting earlier than we expected to. Original start time was 1:05 here on this Sunday, but getting moved up 20 minutes to 12:45 due to the weather that will be coming over the field here at some point, somewhere in between 2 and 3 o'clock. So we're hoping that we see some type of action in terms of good pitching between these two teams to try and get as many innings as possible that we can in. But the story of the day thus far, I got to mention, it's Lego Day here at the ballpark. Not sure how well you can see it there on the feed that we have brought to you, but the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in their specialty jersey. You see Kevin Watley spinning around a little bit there. You saw the face of the jersey, but a pretty cool little sight there here on Lego Day on this Sunday Fun Day. As the Hoppers with the first team to rock the alternate jerseys. And Kevin Watley, so far in the season, he's 3 for 12. Does have a home run to his credit. Didn't have a lot of those last year, just a couple of them, as looks as if we're just about ready here at the ballpark. Is our home plate umpire, Scott Wolendowski. We're just waiting on something here behind home plate, and as we're waiting for that, let's read you the defense for the Beavers. From left to right in the outfield, we got number 9, Alec Olin. Over in the center field position, which I'm assuming he'll be manning the entire year until he maybe gets up out of the USPBL. That's, of course, Nick Campana, off to a tearing start here at Jimmy John's Field in 2019. And over there, right field, Todd Weiss, hometown product, a very good friend there of Chris Newell, and someone who's been learning under Chris Newell for quite some time. And, of course, the Bloomfield native in the right spot here with the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. Left to right on the infield, at the hot corner, T.J. Ward. Matt Farlow over there at shortstop. Ryan Kemp at second base. And then Jack Haranek over there at the first base bag. Kevin Watley, first pitch attempt, is down for a strike. 0-1 the count. Watley, the 2018 USPBL Defensive Player of the Year, but he is definitely trying to get those numbers up with the baseball bat offensively as he worked his tail off in the offseason, spent a little bit of time outside of the country to work on his game in the better weather than what we would have had in Michigan in the offseason. But we're excited for what we have in store today. The left-hander Salisbury trying to make things work, throws a fastball 70% of the time on first pitch, brings this 1-1 pitch in there for called strike. So Watley quickly down in this one, 1-2. The lefty, Salisbury, bringing the cheddar at 88. Not necessarily one of the faster throwing guys in the league, but the left-hander has plenty of movement on his pitches, and part of the reason why he is here at the USPBL. That 2-2, back up the middle. Salisbury wasting no time. Didn't have any time to react to that one. Watley with a nice swing on that 2-2 pitch, but a better job by Salisbury to turn himself from a pitcher into a fielder. Does the job and gets out number 1 here to start things off.
Yeah, definitely good heads-up play there. Hard hit ball right up the middle. Nice snag by Salisbury. helping himself out. And like you mentioned, a little bit maybe lower velocity than you normally see, but it's definitely something you can get away with as a left-hander. You see in the major leagues, left-handers typically don't throw quite as hard on average as right-handers. You don't see quite as many lefties as righties, and obviously you see more right-handed hitters than left-handed hitters. Righties do like facing lefties better, but still, lefties can get away with a little bit lower velocity.
Wesley Jones now stepping in. He looks at the second pitch of the at-bat. The count evens up at 1-1. Jones on the season batting .294, but was 0 for 5 in the contest just about 15 hours ago, as Jones had a strikeout, a ground out, a fly out, and then reached base safely on a pair of fielder's choices. But down in the count 1-2. Salisbury looking sharp thus far. This one gets up and out towards that right field patio area where there are plenty of parties going on today. Lots of birthday parties out there. If you have interest in bringing the kids out for a birthday party, Jimmy John's Field's a great place to host that. The 1-2 to Jones, breaking ball at 81 miles an hour. That curveball there from Salisbury fouled off over to the right side. Wesley Jones, one of many players with affiliated experience here in the USPBL, the man out of Lithonia, Georgia. Played in the Rockies organization. Miscue here from Ryan Kemp over at the second base position. A hard hit ball from Wesley Jones, but in a league like this, you got to be able to make plays like that. And that man getting on base safely via the error.
And that ball was smoked. Just kind of hit off the glove of Kemp, not able to make the play there. But 2 hard hit balls so far, but also 2 pretty good at bats. Something you want to see from the top of your lineup is, for them to look at a few pitches, foul a few off. You let the guys, like the 3 and 4 hitters off the bench, see a few pitches.
As Brian Davis not having to do much in this at-bat, Salisbury drilling him in the backside, brings runners to now first and second with just 1 out. Still an opportunity to try and get 2 for the price of 1. Got to keep working on getting those ground balls, but maybe a little bit softer, as that was a missile hit to Kemp, even though he's charged with the error.
Yeah, that's right. And, beginning of the season, still trying to work out those kinks a little bit, especially defensively. We've seen a few errors at the start of this season, a lot of them, coming on those ground balls, mainly with that long infield grass that we talk about a lot. But that one, just a line drive, that's definitely one you got to have. And now the Hoppers, after that hit-by pitch, with a good chance to strike here with that struggling offense coming into this game. They've got a chance to strike here in the first with just 1 down and 2 men on.
Yeah, and it took them all the way to the 9th inning last night to get any type of runs against the Corns, against the Mammoths, whose starter Phil Walby did a tremendous job, and then the men behind him did pretty well as well. As this one back up the middle past the diving second baseman Kemp.
That'll do it.
That one definitely goes down in the books as a base knock. So Peterson with an RBI single drives in Jones. Davis moving up 90 feet into scoring position. But a tough start for Salisbury as the Hoppers take the early 1-0 lead.
And we talked about Salisbury's pretty good start. It was only 4 innings, but gave up just the 2 runs on opening night, which was the only previous time that these two teams met. So this is the second time that the Hoppers have seen them this year. You definitely have an advantage as a pitcher when these guys haven't seen you, especially, they did see him last year, but not as many, returning players maybe in this year as there has been in the last couple of years. So, they've seen him before. They know what he throws and his tendencies. So maybe it'll be a little bit easier for this Hoppers lineup today.
Adams, meanwhile, down in the count quickly, 0-2. Adams has been tremendous so far this season for the Hoppers. 7 hits through 15 at-bats. Good for a .467 average as he calls time. 2 runs scored, an RBI to his credit, but all 7 of his hits have been singles. But hey, you know what? The consistency is definitely there. Won't have it this time through. Salisbury paints that outside black. Good for outnumbered 2, so limiting the damage, at least for now. And for as tough as the inning has gone, the combination of the error, the hit by the pitch, the single, you'll take just 1 run if you can get out of this here. But Ryan McCarrick now standing in for the Hoppers. McCarrick does have 2 games under his belt in the non-public games, as we have yet to see him on any other broadcast, but through his first 2 games, yet to have a hit through 9 at-bats. Does have 3 strikeouts so far, but reached base safely one time and does have a stolen base to his credit. So you know he's got it on the base pass as the 0-1 misses high and away. Home plate umpire Scott Wolendowski asking his partner to see if he went around. He did not. Salisbury, the lefty, the thing with him is he's either on or he's not. There's a lot of situations last year in 2018 where we were seeing one of 2 Salisburys out there, and no matter who you see, he does have an issue with the pitch count as he doesn't go late into a lot of games. But if you can consistently get guys out, doesn't matter how long it takes, as the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Salisbury as we go to the home half of the first, but not before the Hoppers get 1 run on 1 hit. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And we welcome everybody back into the booth. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. Salisbury's first frame is all said and done. Took him 22 pitches to get through it. Hoppers do get 1 run on 1 hit. First pitch swinging is Ryan Kemp, the second baseman, who had the error back in the top of the frame. Nice piece of contact off the bat to the opposite field, but nothing doing there as that one goes to the right fielder, Peterson, on the line. Fairly easy catch made there. 1 up, 1 down. Good start for Noah Goetzies. As mentioned in the pregame there by Leo, Goetzies coming off his first start and first victory as Nick Campana now stands in. Looks at a called strike, off-speed pitch. Goetzies in his 1 start went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, but most importantly, no earned runs and no walks with 6 strikeouts to his name, and ended up getting the victory as Campana quickly down in the count 0-2, but a tremendous start there to the season for that young man as he does take a cut and a miss, 3 straight pitches as he is down on strikes. No messing around there for Goetzies. And I'll tell you what though, Campana obviously not wanting the result that he had there, but as I was about to say, 12 for his first 7 with a slugging percentage of 1.083, which is a pretty good feat through the first couple of games. So a little bump in the road there for Campana.
Campana, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 4 extra base hits of the 5 that the Beavers have this season. Has been a big part of their offense, which comes in with a 292 batting average, almost 100 points higher than the Hoppers. And we've seen so far Beavers are being very aggressive as well as the Hoppers, but so far this season it has paid off for the Beavers. A quick 2 outs in this inning.
This one hit on a line down and right. That's going to be trouble for Peterson. Rounding first, heading to second is Haranek. He doesn't have tons of speed under his belt, but he's going to walk in there standing up. The big fellow with some big production here in the home half of the first. Of course, he is the beer batter of the game, and for those that don't know, especially those of you listening in at the ballpark in the suites and then in the bathrooms, when a beer batter gets a hit in the game, $5 craft beers over there on the left side of the ballpark for the remainder of the frame. So if you need a refill, go down and get it before the inning is over, and there are 2 outs. So let's make it quick as T.J. Ward now standing in after the 2-out double from Jack Haranek. T.J. Ward had a tough opening night against these Hoppers, against Contreras and the team, as Ward was 0 for 5 with a trio of strikeouts, as he's batting .214 on the season to start. Looks at a ball to begin this at-bat. Ward coming to us, of course, from Hartford University, same as Campana. As the 1-0, Ward fouls off the lumber, brings the count even to 1-1. And you know, no matter what it is in life, it's all about who you know, and there's a lot of connections from players who have played in college together or in affiliated ball, bringing more talent to this league throughout the season. As Goat sees a couple of looks back to Haranek, comes home with it. Breaking ball fouled off again here as T.J. Ward trying to stay alive in this one now. Leo, you mentioned it in the pregame show how Goatsees in his first start of the season in those 5 innings had 0 counts that reached 3 balls with the 55 strikes to 13 balls ratio. It's the textbook kind of start that you want. End up with the victory. Hoppers dropped back to 500 last night against the Westside Woolly Mammoths, allowing them to earn their first win of the season. That's a great sign there for Mark Wiedermeyer, the manager, getting his first victory. But overall, it's been the Unicorns, I would say, through the first couple of weekends that have really taken charge of things. As
Yeah, definitely.
Goatsees, the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Ward, victim number 2 of the inning for Goatsees with the strikeout. So Goatsees matches Salisbury through the first frame, but the Hoppers have the 1-0 lead. We head to the second. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And welcome back, everybody. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. We're through an inning here at Jimmy John's Field with the early start. Normally, we're supposed to be getting ready for the festivities in a couple of minutes, but we're through one as we're trying to get through the weather that is on the way in about an hour and a half or so. But it'll be the bottom of the order due up for the Hoppers. Zachary Gray, Tommy Lukongo, and Joe Radzewski, the batters coming up to face Salisbury in this frame. Gray taking a look at the breaking ball that does not drop in. Brings the count to 2-1. As Gray, a guy who hasn't had tons of opportunities just yet, but up there batting in the 7th spot tonight, was in the 8th spot yesterday as he takes a big cut to bring the count even at 2-2. But last night, 1 for 3 with a single and drove in a pair of runs for the Hoppers late in that ball game as he looks at ball 3. But it was very, very scary last night at the end of the game for the Mammoths. They were up 4-0, and then the Hoppers string together 3 runs as this one, I know it at least got a piece of Adam Gauthier, but it looks like it must have gotten a piece of Zachary Gray's bat.
Yeah, it looks like it did. Looks like they might call that a foul ball. Initially, it looked like it may have hit him, kind of backed him out of the box there. May have even caught part of his hand. It can always hit off the bat and your hand. So
either way, he's in there, ready for the payoff pitch once again. In on the hands once more, and Gray, staying alive, fouls that one off conventionally as the wind bellowing out there to left center field today. It's a good sign for right-handed hitters as the payoff pitch again swung on and missed. Gray chases after that one. As bad as a result as that may be for a strikeout, you got to take the little battles as you can, and that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat. So at least forced Salisbury to throw some pitches, who's now up to 30. Here through just 4 outs, as he had 22 pitches through the first frame. 16 of them were for strikes, and he did, of course, have the 2 strikeouts to his credit. Here comes Tommy Lukongo, chopping a ball up the middle over there to the shortstop, Matt Farlow. Farlow making it look easy. 1 pitch, and out number 2 is across the board. Lukongo, who was 1 for 3 last night, will not get off to the start that he wants here this afternoon on this Sunday matinee contest. The 6-3 putout is recorded, and now it comes up to Joe Radzewski of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who Radzewski so far this season has made 2 starts, but batting just 143 as he looks at a called strike. Radzewski in those 2 games, 1 for 7 with a run scored and a single. Does have 1 walk and 1 strikeout to his credit, but a guy for the most part who puts the ball in play, even though he's down in the count 0-2 to start this at-bat against Salisbury, who looks as if he's starting to find himself just an inning short of where he wanted it to be. The wind-up, the kick, the push, Cheddar fouled off. Gauthier cannot hold on to it just yet, as Radzewski will stay alive for at least 1 more AB.
And looking for another strikeout already with 3. He struck out 3 in a row, 2 to end last inning. Then we just saw him strike out Gray right before that Tommy Lukongo ground out.
As Radzewski sticks the bat out there, stays alive for another try, as sometimes that's what you got to do.
And Radzewski played his college ball at Heidelberg University, Division III in NCAA. Grounds that one to third.
TJ Ward showing off the arm strength. That one a little wide of the bag, but Haranek, the veteran first baseman, changes his footing and then retires the Hoppers in order in the second. We head to the home half. They lead it 1-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And we welcome everybody back to the booth. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. It will be Alec Oland, Cottrell McGowan, and Adam Gauthier due up for the Beavers in the home half of the second. Oland, second pitch swinging. Nice job there from Wesley Jones showing off the arm strength as TJ Ward did to end the top half of the frame with the 5-3 putout. As Oland is retired, was 2 for 4 back on opening night against these Hoppers with a double and a single, but not successful in the first try this afternoon. Good start there for Goatsies as he's allowed just the double with 2 outs to Haranek, but outside of that, a pair of strikeouts, a line out, and now this ground out. He'll now face Cottrell McGowan, trying to get some opportunities here in this one as he pinch hit for Haranek and had 1 at bat back on opening night, but outside of that, not much as he fouls the second pitch of the first pitch of the at bat off.
And McGowan, no hits so far this season, looking for his first hit of the USPBL season. Slotted in the DH spot. We saw Caleb Longley was in the DH spot back on opening night. He had a 2 for 4 game with 4 runs batted in, but McGowan gets the nod this afternoon. Attended Ohio State University.
That one, 90 miles an hour upstairs. Some sweet chin music for Cottrell, but he gets out of the way. Takes a deep breath, and he's ready to go again. Goatsies, the windup, the kick. Hanging breaking ball over there to the left fielder, Pat Adams, who shuffles over there from center where he was last night. Makes the catch for out number 2, and as we mentioned that, might as well let you know where they're all at this afternoon. Adams is in left. Ryan McCarrick, the man who doesn't start every single game, out there getting the nod in center. Bryce Peterson staying out there in right as he had last night. Jones, Watley, the 2 men on the left side of the infield like last night. Radzewski getting the nod at second base, and then Zachary Gray over there at the first base bag as he was the designated hitter in last night's affair. Adam Gauthier, meanwhile, now standing in for his first try this afternoon. Looks at a pair of balls that missed the zone. Last one in on the hands as he batted in the 8th spot back on opening night against these Hoppers. The slider away misses the zone, and it's now quickly 3-0 on Goatsies. He's going to have to try and slow things down a bit as he was trying to make things happen fairly quickly, catch some of these batters off guard, but here against Gauthier, it's been an issue to the contrary as 3-0. There it is, fastball. Zone has been found. Gauthier now working the count to 3-1. Gauthier, another returner for these Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, so you know he's got a ring under his belt. As Goatsies, the payoff, or not the payoff pitch, the 3-1, admired there by Gauthier, the breaking pitch, which he loves to go to about 18% of the time, that curveball. See if he elects to bring it again, or maybe throw that cutter in on the hands. And there it is, swung on, fouled off. Count remains at full, nobody on, 2 outs. Hoppers coming in today 2-2. Beavers looking to get their second win of the season as they're 1-2. Defending champs getting off to a little bit slow of a start, or at least slow in the mind of Chris Newell as he tries to go out there and have an undefeated season, which you got to respect, but got to take it one day, one pitch at a time as he fouls this one off and stays alive.
That's right. Sometimes, you look at it from the big picture perspective. Beavers trying to win their 3rd straight championship. But yeah, you got to take it one pitch at a time, offensively, defensively.
This one popped up into right center field. Both Peterson and McCarrick ranging underneath it. It will be Peterson that comes underneath it to make the catch, but Adam Gauthier with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat takes him to be retired as we are through 2. Hoppers out in front, 1-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. Lego Day at the ballpark, Sunday fun day for the kids. And back to the top of the Eastside order we go. Salisbury through the first two frames. He has allowed the one run, but it was, of course, unearned after that error committed by Ryan Kemp. 35 pitches through the first two frames for Salisbury as he gets things going against Watley for a strike to begin this at bat. 0-1 count, swung on into right center field. The hometown Bloomfield kid, Todd Weiss, ranging to his right, using that speed that he has out of the gate, makes the catch on the run with ease. And Watley second pitch swinging, goes down via the flyout. He's 0 for 2 so far today, but much better contact this time around.
We've seen quite a few flyouts so far in this game. Maybe the hitter's trying to elevate the ball a little bit more today with that wind blowing pretty much out to left center field right now. We've seen it change directions periodically throughout the game so far. But maybe just trying to use that wind to their advantage because it can make a big difference.
Wind continuing to blow out there towards the left field Chevy Pavilion area, as this one misses the zone as well. This one upstairs, nowhere close, so Salisbury desperately trying to slow it down a bit and try and get through this inning 1-2-3 like he had in the second, but it won't be all that easy this time around as Wesley Jones looks at 4 straight. Nothing you ever want to see if you are a pitcher, and so much, in fact, that I remember back in the good old days when I was over at MCC at Macomb, my 2 years there as a relief pitcher, 4-pitch walks are never good, not just because of the results that happen in the game, but the amount of polls that you have to run if you allow any of those.
Yeah.
Your 0-2 counts that turn into walks, and then the 4-pitch ones, they're no fun. They're no fun to be a part of.
Running's got to be a pitcher's worst nightmare. That's just punishment right there.
This one, though, over to the left side, TJ Ward with the quick flip of the wrist over to the second baseman, Ryan Kemp, who relays it over to Haranek. Before we can even finish our thoughts in the booth, the play is recorded, the double play is intact, and we are halfway through the third as quickly as we get into it. So we head to the home half. Hoppers out in front 1-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the booth. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel at your service as we're through 2.5 at the ballpark. Sun is shining down, or should I say beaming down, here on the on the field, I should say, as might want to, there we go, as we change up the iris there on our cameras. It's been a little changing of the guards here with some of the clouds in the area going back and forth, but hey, you know what? We'll take the good weather while we can. Meanwhile, Matt Forlow up there, down the count quickly, 0-2. Takes the 0-2 pitch, the 73-mile-an-hour changeup over there to the opposite side of the field. That's exactly what you're supposed to do with it. Fortunately for him, hits it right at Joe Radzewski. So the 4-3 putout is recorded. 1 up and 1 down for Goatsies.
And nice pitch right there on the outside corner, like you said, with that slow changeup. Got it low enough for him just to roll one over to second. Definitely a great pitch on the 0-2.
So here comes Todd Weiss in just his third plate appearance of the 2019 season. A short chopper over there to the hot corner. Wesley Jones, the surefire toss over there to Zach Gray. Good enough for the 5-3 putout on just the one pitch. Todd Weiss is retired with ease. A couple of groundouts, and Goatsies has made his way through the order. And the only blemish, the double there from Haranek with 2 outs back in the first. Other than that, we've seen a couple of baseballs make way to the outfield and some strikeouts as well. 2 in the first there for the right-hander as Ryan Kemp now back up to the plate for his second try. Lined out to the right fielder, Bryce Peterson, to get things going in the home half of the first as Kemp looks at ball 1 to begin this try. This one a little bit closer, but misses the zone inside. Kemp on the season, 5 for 11 coming into play today through 3 starts. 3 runs scored, 1 double, 1 RBI. He's got 3 walks and 3 strikeouts to his credit. Looks at called strike 1. Count now at 2-1 in favor of the right-hander. Breaking ball in there. Nothing you're going to do about it except stare at it, admire it, and be thankful that you have one more to give.
Kemp played his college ball at Middle Tennessee State Division I ball. Only stands at 5'4". Actually, I believe that's shorter than Jose Altuve in the major leagues. Definitely not the tallest of guys, but comes into the game hitting .455. A good hitter at the top of the lineup.
This one chopped over there to the first baseman, Zachary Gray, and we get 1 ground out to second, 1 ground out to third, 1 ground out to first in that order. The Hoppers get out of the inning without any damage from the reigning back-to-back champs, and we're through 3 at Jimmy John's Field on Sunday Fun Day. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. We're through 3 at Jimmy John's Field. A decent pitcher's duel thus far. Goatsey's getting a little bit better of his opposition compared to Salisbury, who deals with Bryce Peterson now. Swings and misses at the 1-0 offer. It'll be Peterson, Adams, and McCarrick due up for Paul Nochi's team in this top of the 4th inning. They take the 1-0 lead into it as the 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, swung on, hit off to our right. Peterson singled back in the 1st inning, but then Adams and McCarrick, each with a strikeout, ended that threat with runners on. The 1-2, in on the hands at 88. Good job there from Salisbury to keep it on the inner third, not allow Peterson to come through with it.
And that single, like you mentioned, did score the only run of this ballgame. Got the Hoppers started in the first, scoring Wesley Jones, who reached on an error.
The 1-2. Almost getting a piece there, Peterson, but manages to maneuver himself out of the way. Brings the count now even at 2-2. And the topic of conversation for the hours leading up to the game was the weather. We were nervous exactly how things were going to pan out as the 2-2 pitch misses high and away. The fastball brings the count full, but overall, the sun's been out a lot more than we expected. And as I take a look at the report, it says only 30% chance when it gets to the 2 o'clock hour of thunderstorms. There's a 100% chance that Bryce Peterson will head back to the dugout after he takes a look at that pitch, the looking strikeout. Good enough for out number 1. Good job by Salisbury, who outside of that 1st inning, he's been cruising. He's retired, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the last 9 batters that he had faced. Wesley Jones reached on the base on balls in the last 3rd inning, but Brian Davis turned it into a 5-4-3 double play that got Salisbury out of it. So a pretty darn good job outside of that RBI single there from Peterson. Meanwhile, this one getting down into the corner, Alec Oland going to get to it quickly, but sliding in just safely is Pat Adams. That was a good piece of hitting there, as this one on the board there for the Hoppers. The one-out double brings a runner into scoring position for the Hoppers, already with the 1-0 lead, and now Ryan McCarrick with an opportunity. He's 0 for 1 with a swing and miss strikeout.
And nice double there for Pat Adams. Has had a great start to the season, a multi-hit game back on opening night. 2 for 4, and that one came in, leading the team with a .467 average. Now puts himself in scoring position with 1 out.
McCarrick trying to make a name for himself here in the USPBL, getting things going this afternoon as this one hit over our heads to the right, over there near M59. Mentioned the Hoppers at 2-2, Beavers at 1-2, still early on in this 2019 USPBL season. But it is the Unicorns that are out in front mightily through their first games as McCarrick holds his breath and looks at a pitch that could have easily been strike 3, but instead home plate umpire Scott Wolendowski allows him to stay alive for at least one more pitch. Salisbury liked it without a doubt, but the Corns 4-1. Through their first 5 as another close one misses the zone there to McCarrick. Eastside, like I mentioned, at 2-2. Birmingham-Bloomfield at 1-2. And then Westside getting their first win tonight after dropping their first 3. Happy to see them get on the win column as McCarrick ready for the 2-2. Salisbury brings it. This one into left center field. Could be trouble for Olin, but instead runs it down well enough for Pat Adams to not advance. So a good job there by Oland, another new face here in the USPBL in the 2019 season. 3 up, 2 down. Adams still waiting over there on the second base bag, trying to come in to score, and we'll see if it'll be Zachary Gray that can give the Hoppers some sort of insurance.
All right, Gray struck out swinging back in the second, one of 4 victims that Salisbury has sent down on strikes. Like you mentioned yesterday, the 2 runs batted in. It gives him 4 on the season after he tallied 2 on opening night.
Yeah, without a doubt. And how about that first pitch there in the at-bat, breaking ball to Gray. Mentioned how Salisbury, he's a fastball pitcher, doesn't mess around. Throws that fastball 78% of the time, at least that's where he was in his first start, as this one out into dead center field. Campana raging underneath it. Makes the catch with ease as the Hoppers threaten with the one-out double from Adams, but won't get anything out of it. They remain out in front 1-0 as we head to the home half of the fourth. It'll be that man, Nick Campana, due up for the Beavers when we come back. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And we welcome everybody back into the booth. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. We are in the home half of the fourth. Noah Goetzies, back out there for another inning of work. 35 pitches through the first 3 frames. Nick Campana starting his count off 1-1 as he was down on 3 straight pitches back in the home half of the first, but Campana off to a relentless start for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. Best batting average out of anybody in the USPBL thus far, and there he goes off again. Campana with a gap shot into left center field. This is center fielder Ryan McCarrick sliding, trying to get that baseball with his bare hand on the hop, which was, I mean, you got to respect the effort there. As he might have thought he had an opportunity to get Campana, but Campana with that great combination of power and speed, the reason he's in the position that he is, as the leadoff double there for that young man brings up Jack Haranek, another big fella who's got that double on the day so far. Had the only hit coming into the inning. So now the second double of the day for the Beavers. See exactly what you can do here if you're Goetzies. Got to be careful, though, with the big fella batting up there from the left side. Hard hit ball ricocheting off the lip of the infield grass right into the mitt of Zach Gray. But, hey, you know what? You hit a hard-hit ground ball. You'll be happy that it goes to the right side of the infield to, of course, get the runner that much closer into scoring. Better than the alternate. If he hit it to Wesley Jones, Campana would still be standing over there at second. So tip the cap there to Haranek, who, of course, doesn't get the result that he wants, but an effective out and gets the runner that much closer to scoring. And now all TJ Ward would need to do is, of course, hit a fly ball deep enough to bring Campana in. This one, not deep enough, but technically deep enough for the first baseman, Zachary Gray, to not get to it. So you'll take it here as a new life begins for TJ Ward in the at-bat.
Yeah, that ball definitely could have been caught, like we talk about sometimes on the broadcast. Very large foul ground here, especially off to that left and right side here at Jimmy John's Field, especially in the infield. Not so much in the outfield, but there is a ton of room to run down balls for the infielders.
Ward sitting on that one. The 74-mile-an-hour pitch from Goetzies gets left up in the zone. That changeup and a line drive base knock for Ward. That's a good sign for him. Mentioned how he was 0 for 5 back on opening night against these Hoppers and already 0 for 1 coming into that at-bat with a swing and miss strikeout that ended inning number 1. But an RBI knock drives in Campana, and the Beavers are on the board. We're all knotted up at 1.
Man, that's just textbook baseball right there. You get the leadoff runner on second. Jack Horanek comes up, unselfish at bat for him, able to advance the runner, and then gets Campana to score with the RBI single. TJ Ward gets it done to tie the game.
The name of the game. Get him on, get him over, and get him in. As TJ Ward over there now on first base. Alec Oland up now, down in the count 0-1. This one chopped over to the second base bag. An opportunity for 2, but too much speed there down the first base line. The left fielder, Oland, reaches base safely with the fielder's choice, but a pretty twist there as both Radzewski and Watley getting the force out at second base. Good enough for out number 2, and now Cottrell McGowan standing in 0-for-1 with a fly out to left field.
It's been a slow start for McGowan so far, but did have, actually says he's 1-for-1 on the scoreboard. Flew out to left in the second, so he's looking for his first hit still. Played at Ohio State University. Great season last year. 351 with 9 home runs, 55 RBIs, a .438 on-base percentage, 29 multi-hit games. Those are numbers you like to see, especially D1 NCAA
Big Ten stuff.
at Ohio State.
That's a big deal. That's some really good stats there from McGowan. So we'll see exactly what he can do in a Beaver uniform. Still rocking the red underneath. But good job there from McGowan. Calls time just in the nick as Goetsis could not keep hold of that one. As this one gets underneath that glove of gray over at first base, trying to do too much and rounding second. And will he get to third? That one got out of the field of play, but it looks as if the umpire is just going to give him second base. But if I'm Chris Newell, I wouldn't hate to see him try and offer third for that, because if it didn't get away from the field of play, there's an easy chance that Oland could have gotten there.
Yeah, he definitely would have made it over there. It's just a tough break for the Beavers. But still a single, something into the outfield with that outfield depth right now playing pretty deep. Something should score the runner from second. That's Oland.
And this one, missing the zone, evens the count up at 2-2.
Now went back to the breaking ball there on the 1-2. Just missed it a little bit high. But luckily for Goetsis, did not hang it over the plate.
3-2's up on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and there is strike 3 to number 3. McGowan chases after that breaking pitch for the third and final out. But the Beavers tie it up with a leadoff single from Campana and an RBI single off the bat of TJ Ward. We are tied at the end of 4. We head to the 5th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And welcome back, everybody. Rich Borland, Leo Ortzel with you. The 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Hoppers. Lukongo, Radzewski, Watley for Team Eastside. Salisbury, after that 1-0 pitch, looked a little in some discomfort, but back at it. Lukongo ready for the 2-0. That one, 86 miles an hour. Rolled over to the left side as Matt Forlow ends up getting the 6-3 put out. Second time he's done that to Lukongo this afternoon. So a pair of groundouts to the shortstop position there for the Eastside catcher. And I don't see him anywhere. There he is, Joseph Radzewski, as he's coming up there to the John Cena theme song. Nobody on, one out, as Salisbury gets back to work against the 9-hitter Radzewski. Swung on and missed at the first try. Radzewski grounded out to the third baseman, T.J. Ward, that ended inning number 2. And quickly, Radzewski down 0-2 with the swing and the miss on both tries. If I'm Salisbury, I'm going right after him here, force him to swing at something else. And there it is, 89 miles an hour. That one probably a little bit more over the plate than Salisbury would have liked, but in the end, you get the pitch that you like, and that result, of course, not in play and not a ball, so you'll take it as he gets a new baseball.
And with the lefty-on-lefty matchup, he probably wanted that ball up and in. One of the hardest pitches to hit as a left-handed hitter is that fastball up and inside, but tries to go high again with that one, missed outside.
Like the try there, going outside with it now. Mentioned how Salisbury is predominantly a fastball pitcher, but will occasionally mix in the curveball, the changeup, and the slider. The 1-2, there it is. That fastball at 88 just dies when it hits that infield grass. So as a hitter, you got to do everything you can to at least keep it in the air prior to getting to that infield dirt. As we go back to the top of the east side order, a pair of groundouts, one to the left side, one to the right side for the 8 and 9 hitters for the Hoppers, as Watley will try and get things going for himself as he's 0-2 with that hard hit ground ball that started this game off back to Salisbury, and then a hard hit fly ball to right field, as Watley's swinging a better bat this season. Looks at ball one, high and away.
And you know what you're getting out of Watley defensively at shortstop, like we've talked about, the defensive player of the year last year in the USPBL. But we're just beginning to see what he can do with the bat. Already 1 home run this year, 0-2 so far. So looking for his first hit today, but slotted at the top of this Paul Noce lineup. Definitely trusting Watley to produce a little bit more offensively, perhaps.
And without a doubt, because Watley, as we take a look through the lineup, Watley alongside Pat Adams and Lukongo, the only guys that were on this roster for the full season last year. Brian Davis, of course, joined the team later on, but yeah, just 3 guys that were there in all of 2018. And Watley, I'm pretty sure, due to thinking about the memory there, I'm darn sure that Watley started every single game for the Hoppers last year. And
yeah,
he didn't always bat at the top of the order. He was more towards the bottom last year, but obviously it's not showing here today, but Paul Noce's got to be confident with the way things have turned around offensively for Watley since last year. But the Hoppers go down in order, a pair of groundouts and a strikeout to end the top of the 5th. Beavers coming up to the plate. We're tied at 1. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. Through 4.5 at the ballpark. Sun is shining down once again. This one over to the hot corner. Can Wesley Jones make an incredible play? Off to the side. The throw was on time, but just off a bit of the bag there for Zachary Gray to not be able to hold on there to the baseball bag. But Wesley Jones, a great job diving, stopping that baseball, and not allowing Adam Gauthier to get into second base. But it was darn close to almost an out there as Jones did everything he could there on that pitch.
Not trying to make Nolan Arenado type play out there. Had to range to his right, almost an incredible play. Great pick, just a little bit off target with that throw.
As now Matt Forlow standing in. That one out of play it goes. Fouls off the first try that he sees. 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base. Adam Gauthier getting signs there from his manager, Chris Newell. Wouldn't be a crazy scenario to see the Beavers maybe try and lay one down, but I know that is not the way that Newell does things necessarily. But, hey, it's a 1-1 game halfway through. Not sure exactly where it'll go, but Forlow, meanwhile, looks at one. Can't do anything about it. He's down in the count 0-2 as the wind continues to just bellow out there towards left field. All you got to do is get it up a little bit, and it definitely carries. It's just 315 down that left field line. Breaking ball over to the left side, and you know what? It wasn't hit all that hard, but you find the hole. That's the name of the game. You hit it where they ain't. And now there are runners on first and second here with back-to-back singles over to the left side of the infield. So the Beavers trying to string something together as the hometown Bloomfield product, Todd Weiss, coming up to the plate.
And like you mentioned, it could have been a situation where Chris Newell has the option to go with a bunt to advance the runner over to second. But for someone like Forlow, who came in with just one hit today, who just tallied his second, you want to see him swing the bat. You want to see him, get that average up, try to establish himself as a starter towards the beginning of the season. Because, if you're a guy not swinging the bat too strong, right from the get-go in a league like this, you never know if you're going to be playing the next day or if you'll be in the lineup the next day.
And that's one thing a lot of these guys have to focus on. Just like the MLB players where they have that all-star break where, of course, it's really, two tails of the season. For guys like this, that midway point through the year might be the ending point for some of these guys. Is, of course, once the college days are done for a lot of players, there's guys who might not have gotten drafted but have the talent, and at some point in this season we will have to make cuts for guys that aren't producing, and we'll be adding a bunch of new faces once the college days are all said and done, as Todd Weiss ready for the 1-1. Showed bunt a couple of times, shows it here again as Goatsies is going to have to make the play on his own, and he will. Not an easy job there for a pitcher to make the play like that, especially against a speedster in Todd Weiss, but the sacrifice bunt is laid down. The 1-3 putout is recorded. Gauthier gets to third, Forlow to second. But as we had that little conversation about the college players, coming into this league halfway through, got to give a shout out there to my alma mater, the Central Michigan Chippewas, who actually secured the Mid-American Conference and are well on their way to a terrific season, as they just have had a tough time losing. I'm pretty sure they've won about 14 or 15 games in a row.
Wow, that's impressive.
About 5 sweeps in a row there in the MAC. And, of course, no longer the coach, Steve Jacksa. He's over at Saginaw Valley State University. But new coach in there doing a great job at the helm. But back to the USPBL baseball as Ryan Kemp in here down in the count 0-1 with a foul ball. In his first try, looks at the second pitch, and that one a called strike. Kemp 0 for 2 with a line out to right and a ground out to first. So he's doing a good job by letting the ball travel into the zone and take it the opposite way, but has yet to find some open field. No better time than the present to do so with a couple of beavers in the dam. No ducks on the pond here as the count goes to 1-2 with the high cheese.
That was interesting there. Before that 1-2, the pitch before that was a breaking ball. Kind of backed him off the plate. It looked like he was looking for the fastball, and we just saw Goatsis go back to the fastball there, but missed it high.
And Kemp on the 1-2. Goatsies drops in the breaking ball, swung on and missed. That is strikeout number 4 on the day for the right-hander. And now here comes Nick Campana. Not as easy as an out compared to Ryan Kemp, at least from what I've been able to see in my tenure here at Jimmy John's Field. Wind now blowing out towards dead center field. Nick Campana put it into left center just an inning ago when he led the 4th off with a double. Looks at a called strike there, called by our home plate umpire, Scott Wolendowski.
And then Campana ended up coming around to score on that TJ Ward single. And now Campana with the chance to drive in a pair with something into the outfield.
This one chopped to the left side, and the third baseman, Wesley Jones, rifling it over to the first base bag. Campana is retired, and the Beavers get a couple of runners on to lead it off, but then 3 straight outs retire them. As we are through 5 at Jimmy John's Field, we head to the 6th, knotted up at 1. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are through 5 at Jimmy John's Field, knotted up at 1 here at the ballpark. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you once again. Wesley Jones, meanwhile, who had a good inning defensively there for the Hoppers, trying to get something going offensively as he swings through the second pitch of the at-bat down in the count 0-2. Salisbury back to work as that one just misses that outside black. Jones on the day reached on an error committed by Kemp back in the first inning. He came around to score the only run of the game for the Hoppers. Actually reached on a 4-pitch walk back in the third as he holds off on the 1-2 offer, brings it even to 2-2.
And you see Jones stands pretty far to the left of that batter's box, and Salisbury is trying to paint that outside corner.
He gets it on the outside, but leaves it a little bit over the plate, more than he would have liked. Thankfully for him, Jones, who did put a good piece of bat on it, hits it right at Todd Weiss in right field. So not necessarily the type of contact you want off of one of your pitches, but thankfully for the Beavers and the left-hander Salisbury, goes right to the Bloomfield native in Todd Weiss. And Brian Davis now standing in there from the left side, 0 for 1 when he grounded out into the inning-ending double play. This one won't end the inning, but a chopper over there to shortstop. How about that, Matt Farlow?
Nice pick.
That, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, might not be something that everybody oohs and ahs about there in the stands, but for the diehard baseball fans, that was noticeable there for Farlow. Is that one, a short hop, comes in, charges it, textbook, throws it across the body with the throw foot. Does a good job there to retire Brian Davis, who's not a speedster, but still a tough play to make no matter who's running down that one.
Yeah, charging in with that long infield grass like we're talking about in Forlow in just his first season here in the USPBL, still making that adjustment, but a beautiful pick. Nice play for 2 outs in the inning now.
So Bryce Peterson now standing in. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single that drove in Wesley Jones, the man who reached on that error. Coming into this frame, got to mention, Salisbury with already 72 pitches, but 48 of them for strikes. Does have 5 strikeouts on the day, but he's looking for his fourth, what would be 1-2-3 inning. As I almost jinx it, as Peterson now ahead in the count 3-0. Going to be a tough battle for Salisbury to get back in this one. And that one right down Broadway, called for strike one. We talked about it in the pregame, Leo, how his counterpart, Noah Gotze's, had 0 3-ball counts back in his start earlier on this year, as Peterson looks at ball 4 for the 2-out walk. You never like those, as the Hoppers get a base runner on here in the top of the 6th inning. And now Pat Adams standing in, had the 1-out double, but was stranded there back in the 4th inning. We'll see if he can bring in a run and try and break open this 1-1 tie of this pitcher's duel that we've seen here once again.
And definitely not what you want to do with 2 outs. Walken Peterson, who's kind of had a slow start to the season, did have that RBI single back in the first, but someone who hasn't been swinging the bat too well so far. And now you bring up Pat Adams, who's already doubled in this game back in the 4th. Had a multi-hit game opening night, so has seen Salisbury a few times as the runner takes off.
That one really low. Salisbury was crouching to try and get out of the way of that pitch, as Bryce Peterson on the season coming into play today did not have any stolen bases. But he's 1 for 1 now on the year, as Adams trying to make something happen now with a runner in scoring position, as he takes a good cut at that one but doesn't get anything on it. Salisbury desperately trying to get us out of this inning unscathed. The lefty-lefty battle against Adams. So far, each one of these men have gotten a partial victory in this battle. Mention how Adams struck out looking on the 3rd straight pitch back in the first frame, but that double giving him his first extra base hit of the season. As I mentioned, Adams coming into the game today with 7 hits. All of them were for singles. This one chopped over there in foul territory, right in front of the first base coach's box.
And going back to that stolen base, I like the call from the veteran manager, Paul Nochi. With 2 down, he moved that runner into scoring position. And Diamond Hoppers looking to strike for the first time since the first inning. Looking to regain the lead.
A lot of zeros up on that board in the run columns. We're not complaining about it, as that breaking pitch, the slider that he throws once in a blue moon, that one just missing that zone there to Adams. As I'll tell you right here and now, I wouldn't have been able to lay off of that one. But
and that could have gone either way, too.
Without a doubt, right on that outside black. This one, on the other hand, I would have been able to call that one a ball, as that one nowhere near. As now over at third base is Peterson, and all of a sudden, this payoff pitch, all that more stressful for the right-hander Salisbury. He's now got a runner just 90 feet away from scoring. So you really have to make your pitch here. Even if you did walk Adams, you got to make sure it's at least close there and not have a repeat of that last pitch. And
that's right.
You've got to imagine that Peterson's ready for it, just in case, as the payoff pitch about to ensue here. Here it comes. Breaking ball left over the heart of the plate. Over in center field is Campana, and on the run. Makes the catch. Tremendous jump there by the center fielder, and he uses his speed to his advantage as well. That one very well could have gotten down, but Campana making the right play, and it gets the Beavers out of the jam with the runner on third and 2 outs, and we remain tied at 1. As we head to the home half of the 6th, it'll be Haranik, Ward, and Olin due up. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Pitchers duel on tap in this one. Not like we've seen that so far this season or anything, but it'll be Jack Haranek, TJ Ward, Alec Oland, the 3-4-5 hitters due up for the Beavers in the home half of the first. This ball nubbed off the end of the bat. Wesley Jones over there at the third base position, but over near the shortstop area as Jack Haranek will hustle that one out and reach base safely as Wesley Jones had a little bit of a bobble there as Haranek reaches base safely, technically via the single, as they mark it a base knock in the books there.
Definitely tough play there for the third baseman, and they hadn't played the pole. They had a little bit of a shift on, so third baseman Jones was pretty much where the shortstop would be normal depth-wise. They're playing double play depth now with the runner on.
This one chopped hard over there at the manager of the Beavers, Chris Newell, but have to mention this. Noah Goetze's coming into this sixth inning with just 62 pitches, 47 of them for strikes. Now it's 65 pitches with 50 for strikes, so a darn good ratio there for the right-hander.
And his first start, his USPBL debut, 5 scoreless innings, 55 strikes, just 13 balls thrown on a total of 68 pitches, so pretty much leaving off, or excuse me, he's out here looking like he did his first start once again. A low pitch count, pretty good here in the sixth, and very efficient.
The Phoenix, Arizona native not having an issue with the weather out there today, as it has been brutally muggy as the wind trying to bring that baseball back into fair territory. It was looking well foul as it was making its way up, but as it was coming down, it started to travel back towards that right field line and kind of in that no man's land, but Gray, Radzewski, and Peterson all hustling for it. But the Hoppers thankful that that one stays outside the lines as runner on first, Haranek. This would be a textbook scenario to try and get 2 for the price of 1. TJ Ward down in the count 1-2. Singled and drove in Campana for the only run of the game for the Beavers back in the fourth, but won't be doing any of that here. The swing and the miss as Ward goes down for strikeout number 2 of the day. Already 5 strikeouts on the season there for Ward.
And also 5 strikeouts now for Goetze. And all of them are swinging, I believe.
You would be correct. I got that in my book, so good call there. A lot of swinging and missing here for the Beavers as a whole against Goetze. Breaking ball, misses in the dirt low. Tommy Lukongo taking a stab at that one, a very easy one for the veteran. Alec Oland, meanwhile, reached base safely on the fielder's choice in the fourth. Other than that, he's got a ground out to the hot corner there where Wesley Jones continues to man. This one, more in there for a strike as that off-speed pitch looked to be a slider there, which he hardly throws, but it was a good one there. Count even at 1-1.
And he's got 5 pitches to work with: fastball, curveball, slider, cutter that he throws up in the zone, and the changeup.
This one chopped to the left side. Watley over there to the second baseman. Radzewski over to first, but Gray will not be able to squeeze onto that one in time. Alec Oland reaches base safely via the fielder's choice for the second consecutive time. Haranek, meanwhile, taken out via the 6-4 putout for out number 2. And now standing in, Cottrell McGowan looking for his first hit.
And just going back to Goetze's repertoire with the 5 pitches, we saw him just throw that slider right before that ground ball fielder's choice. But it gives him a lot of options out there. He keeps the hitters guessing, mixing speeds, mixing pitch types, mixing location. And it's definitely a nod to his control, the ability to put the ball where he wants to out there.
As the first pitch to McGowan, fouled off the lower part of his body, as you see him wearing that red shin guard on that front leg of his. Thinking about the base runner there, Oland at first is Goatsees. Oland on the season, 0 for 1 on the base pass, so he's at least trying to do something, but was not able to make anything out of it. This one, meanwhile, look at the wind, just take that one back from foul territory, almost near that foul line, but a good job by Zach Gray to get underneath it, make the catch with ease. We're knotted at 1 here through the first 6 frames. We head to the 7th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are through 6 on this, what has turned out to be a gorgeous Sunday at the ballpark. Day is done for Jerry Salisbury as Matt Dallas stands in there. He'll deal with Ryan McCarrick, Zach Gray, and Tommy Lukongo here to start off this top of the 7th frame. As Salisbury goes 6 innings, throws 90 pitches as McCarrick swings and misses through the second pitch of the at-bat. But in Salisbury's 90 pitches, he went 6 innings, allowed 1 run, but it was not earned after the error committed by Ryan Kemp in the first inning. He did only allow 2 hits, 2 walks, but had 5 strikeouts in his day. And as I mentioned, he gives way to Matt Dallas, who's got McCarrick down in the count 0 for 2.
And like you said, a good outing for Salisbury. Keeps his team in the game, tied at 1 right now. Matt Dallas enters this appearance with a .225 earned run average this season. This will be his 3rd game of the year. He has pitched 4 innings so far, given up 3 hits, just 1 earned run, struck out 6, and limited the opponents to just a .200 batting average overall. And this is his 2nd year with the USPBL. Very reliable reliever last year, was an all-star in 2018 through 28 games, 47 and 2/3 with a 3.59 earned run average, 46 strikeouts, and tallied 3 saves. So in his sophomore season in the USPBL, it's a strikeout here against McCarrick to start his outing.
Yeah, McCarrick on the day so far 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and also a flyout to left field. But Matt Dallas, a guy who on most days brings his best, but he does have, you mentioned, Leo, 46 strikeouts in 2018, also had 37 walks, so got to make sure that the command is something that he improves on, because the other stuff, it's definitely there without a doubt. That 3.59 ERA, good enough there in 2018, helped his team get to the championship, as he was a very valued part of the back end of the bullpen. No matter who started the games for the Beavers last year, it was pretty much Matt Dallas, Dylan Collette, and then, of course, Brian Heldman, one of the best arms I've ever seen in a Beaver uniform. Is this one well in on the hands there of Zachary Gray, the first baseman, Hranek, ranging underneath it to make the catch on that 0-1 effort, as that was a perfect pitch by Matt Dallas, as it starts off right over the heart of the plate, and then it cuts in on the hand there of Gray, and it ends up going over there in foul territory. Easy play for the big fella Hranek, as there's quickly 2 up and 2 down here in this top of the 7th inning. We're loving what we're seeing here from Matt Dallas, continuing the day for Jerry Salisbury.
And he's pumping early on here, 94 miles an hour in on that last pitch. We know the stuff is there, as he deals a 94-mile-an-hour pitch once again that missed outside. You know that he's got the stuff and the velocity, but like you said, Rich, the control is probably the biggest question for him this year. But so far this season, no walks given up, so seems like the command definitely a lot better than 2018.
Tough spot there for Tommy Lukongo. Ahead in the count 1-0, shows bunt but pulls back as if he was never going to lay it down in the first place. But the home plate umpire ends up calling it a strike there, Mr. Scott Wolendowski. This one, easy call for him, as Lukongo swings right through that one on the offer from Dallas. And I'd be surprised, no offense to Tommy Lukongo, but Matt Dallas is just in some type of zone right now. You get McCarrick to strike out on a nasty pitch, and then Gray on just 2 pitches pops out over there to the first baseman. And I'll tell you right now, that 1-2 pitch fastball looked pretty darn good too, just missed by a hair there on the inside part of the plate.
And 95 in. It's hard to touch that, and I like the move from the manager, Chris Newell, to go to Dallas here. After seeing the lefty, Salisbury doesn't throw that hard. You bring in Dallas, pumps 95 high right there to get Lukongo swinging for his second strikeout of the inning. You got to love the move by Chris Newell.
We head to stretch time at Jimmy John's Field, all knotted up at 1. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the 7th. Stretch time is all said and done, and the day is also done for Noah Goatsees. The starters, this one, back up the middle before I can even give the final line. Adam Gauthier getting things going for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers in the home half of the 7th with a line drive back up the middle. Just gets past the new pitcher there, which is, of course, Colby Neely. But for Goatsees, the day is done. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run on 6 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, but the key component there to Noah's game, second consecutive start there without any walks. So in total for Goatsees, he's got 11 innings under his belt through the first 2 outings of the year and no walks allowed. Kevin Watley, meanwhile, getting 4 low to ground out there to the shortstop, but a heads-up play there from Chris Newell and the Beavers as Gauthier was going on the pitch there, so he avoids the double play to start the frame. Not sure if he was expecting 4 low to ground out into something there, but tremendous job there from either Chris Newell or Adam Gauthier. Not sure if it was a sign there given to the base runner or if it was more of a all on me, but I'm guessing with Gauthier being the catcher, that was not something that was necessarily on his own there, probably a hit-and-run scenario.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was a hit-and-run, and it works as a sacrifice in this situation as you advance the runner into scoring position just with 1 out. You got the bottom of the lineup with Todd Weiss up, and we'll take a look at Colby Neely's stats this year. Has thrown in 1 game. That was Game 3 of the USPBL season, which was the Diamond Hoppers against the Unicorns back on May the 12th, and it was a really solid outing for Neely. 3 innings pitched, just 2 hits given up, no earned runs, and 5 strikeouts. So yet to give up a run so far, making his 2nd appearance here, and has some experience in affiliated baseball with the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. He was picked up by them back in 2017. He reached full A-ball, and over his couple of years in the minors, had a 357 earned run average, 27 strikeouts over 35 and a third inning. So not sure what really didn't work out for him, but those are pretty good numbers in the minors for him. So, you know, looking to get another opportunity to play some affiliated ball in the USPBL, see what he can do here.
The 3-1 to Todd Weiss in on the hands. I'll tell you what, Weiss just looked at a pair of pitches that could have easily went in the zone for strikes. And then he swings at that one that might have been a little bit more inside. But either way, Colby Neely has worked Weiss into a full count. The hometown product here out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, trying to make a name for himself. Was on the Beavers last year, but only played in a couple of games. And would you look at that? Line drive into left field. Chris Newell's going to hold up his catcher over at third base, but there was a little bobble. And you know what? Chris Newell's going to get after his veteran catcher Gauthier here at the moment because initially I saw Newell waving his arm around to at least maybe cause some type of miscue there by Adams in left. It was caused because he happened to see that Gauthier was getting the sign to home. But in the end, after the bobble, Gauthier was thinking, no way I'm going, just because of where that ball was hit. But you got to be ready for anything there, and that could very well make a difference in this situation. But at the same time, to the contrary, you got no outs with a runner on first and third, and you're back to the top of your order, so not the worst scenario.
Right.
As you got Kemp up to the plate trying to get his first opportunity today for a base knock as he's 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a line out, and a ground out. This one over there to the third baseman, and now look at this, from bad to worse. Gauthier getting caught in a rundown as he's going home with it. Neely's going to end up making the tag over there at home plate, but a good job, heads-up try there from Gauthier after the trouble ensued. He at least was in the pickle long enough to allow Weiss to get all the way over there to third base from first, so take the good with the bad, but in the end, the Hoppers get their out. Everybody pretty much stays where they're at first and third once again, but tough spot there from Adam Gauthier as he easily could have been the possible game-winning run.
That's right, and yeah, it's tough too. It was good that he was able to get in the pickle there to allow Weiss to advance to third. Basically creates the same situation that would have happened. But going back to that ball hit into left field, which was bobbled by Pat Adams, I definitely think Chris Newell has every right to give him a mouthful there. You know, it's his second year on the team. If it's a new guy, you're maybe thinking, oh, he's not quite used to my coaching style yet, maybe being a little bit more aggressive on the base paths than teams that, he could have played on before. But for someone like Gauthier that's been with the Beavers now for a couple of seasons, definitely Chris Newell would have liked to have scored that run.
So Kemp reaches base safely on the fielder's choice, and tell you what, for as tough as the inning might be for the Beavers, as they've had issue getting a run across here with as much opportunity, you want nobody else up there at the plate at the moment other than Nick Campana. So you got your guy that you want up there at the plate. Already has the double that led off the fourth inning, and the only run of the game for the Beavers, a man who can mass produce for this team, and they need him more than ever right now. Late in this ball game, home half of the seventh, you're in a tie game as it's been for the most part all game long. But the weather coming as well, you got to somehow get a run here to break open this tie just in case we might stop this one early.
Yeah, and they've definitely struggled to hit in the clutch here. 8 hits out hitting the Diamond Hoppers by 6 as the Hoppers have just 2.
Campana chasing that one down in the zone. Looks like it's going to be an out, and the Hoppers and Colby Neely get out of the jam. He allows a pair of singles from Gauthier and Weiss, but a couple of ground outs there and the pop out from Campana. Huge out for Team Eastside as we remain at 1 through 7 innings at the ballpark. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. We are through 7 at the ballpark. Matt Dallas out there for his second inning of work. Just 11 pitches back in the 7th frame. 8 of them for strikes. Had 2 strikeouts, 1 to McCarrick, 1 to Lukongo. He now deals with Joseph Radzewski, who mentioned the Hoppers supporting their alternate jerseys, their game specialty jerseys, the Legoland uniform there, which is absolutely stellar, as Radzewski down in the count 0-1. Leo, till there's some action here in the play as this one misses inside. How about we tell these fans how they could actually own a piece of history here?
Yeah, like you said, Rich, Lego Day sponsored by Legoland, and these jerseys are available for auction. The bidding is live right now. Go to 32, the number's 32auctions.com/DH-Lego. We'll take a quick break here as that one's put into play. Hit to short. Throw will not be in time. That'll be an infield single for Radzewski Jr. to lead off the inning. But going back to that auction, that's 32auctions.com/DH-Lego. DH standing for Diamond Hoppers. The auctions are live. Jerseys available in sizes ranging from medium to extra large. Cool looking jerseys. Got the Legos down both sleeves, the left and right, and then the Lego man in the front. So if you want to own a piece of USPBL history, support your Hoppers,
And
be sure to check out those auctions.
And most importantly, those proceeds go to Make-A-Wish, Michigan. So not only can you get a cool jersey, but most importantly, you can support a great cause, as Todd Weiss out there in right field using his speed to get to the vicinity of that baseball, but Watley doing his best to try and drop one in, and he does so. Even the speedster Todd Weiss cannot come up with that one, so the Hoppers threatening early on here against Matt Dallas with a pair of singles from the bottom and now the top of the order. Key situation here for the Hoppers. Wesley Jones, who reached on the air, came in to score the only run of the game for the Hoppers. Him and Paul Nochi over there near the third base coach's box having a conversation at the moment, as there is nobody getting loose in that Birmingham-Bloomfield bullpen. So you got to imagine this is Matt Dallas's inning to either maintain or lose.
That's right.
Can't really win the inning at this point unless you somehow allow no more runs in this ball game, because 2 runners on, nobody out. You got the heart of the order coming up. It's a tough slate here for the
Absolutely.
young man.
Yeah, Chris Newell's going to trust Dallas here, giving up just the 1 run over 4 innings coming into this appearance, and the 2 strikeouts last inning. Didn't give up any runs, but struggling a little bit here. 2 pretty soft hit balls, but still, nonetheless, the Hoppers have first and second with their 2-hitter Wesley Jones up at the plate.
And this is kind of the situation where opponents can see exactly what type of strategy a manager's going to go with, and it looks like the Hoppers are going to try and at least go the conventional route, at least in terms of old school, as Jones tries to lay a bunt down but cannot. Paul Nochi sees that, and you wonder if he's going to give him another opportunity or if he's going to force him to maybe try and put something in play, as Matt Dallas desperately needing some type of ground ball or strikeout in this situation. Don't want to let anything get to the outfield. Instead, this one, a fastball missing high. And from a pitching perspective, you're in a bunt situation. Totally understand Dallas trying to elevate that baseball, force maybe some type of pop out, as Jones could keep that bat underneath it. But you wonder exactly if Jones is going to have that same type of approach in the 1-1 count. He will. Shows bunt. Brings it forward. Almost hit the young man. And how about that? Heads up stuff there from Adam Gauthier behind the dish. Instead of going the first base route, Jones got enough on it, but that one came up near him a little bit, shook him up a bit. Thought for a second that he might not have put that one in play, but a great job there from the catcher Gauthier to get the lead runner Radzewski with the force out, the 2-5 put out for out number 1. Of course, Watley over there at second, Jones getting to first base on the fielder's choice. Now Brian Davis standing in. Was hit by the first pitch that he saw this afternoon in the first inning, but since then a pair of ground outs to the left side of the infield, one for a 5-4-3 double play that ended the third, and then the 6-3 put out for out number 2 back in the 6th inning. The 1-0, fastball down Broadway. Davis is frozen up on it a bit, brings the count even at 1-1. Dallas limiting the damage. We saw the base running blunder from Gauthier in the home half of the 7th, and now it's the Beavers getting out of a jam at the moment, as looks like Dallas is starting to find his groove again. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that's just tough for the Hoppers as well, going back to that bunt, not able to advance the runners into scoring position. I'm almost wondering if Radzewski was crossed up. That bunt was laid down. Initially, it looked like it may have rolled foul or maybe hit off his hands or something.
This one back up the middle. Dallas finds it, relays it over to the shortstop there. Matt Farlow, who tosses it to the first baseman, Jack Haranek. The Beavers, like the Hoppers had in the home half of the 7th, get out of the jam here in the top of the 8th. We're halfway through the frame. We're still knotted up at 1. Somebody needs to get that second run of the day so we can pick a winner. We head to the break. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the home half of the 8th frame we go. Haranek, Ward, Oland. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for the Beavers in this home half of the 8th. They got to make something happen here because as we come into this home half of the 8th inning, the rain starting to come down just a bit here at the ballpark. A couple of people looking up in the sky as we know what's coming here for the remainder of this Sunday. As Haranek swings and misses at the 1-1 pitch there. As Colby Neely back in for another inning of work. Went through the 7th frame. Battled against 5 batters. Just 12 pitches, though. 8 strikes to 4 balls. Allowed 2 singles, but a couple of ground outs and a pop out. Ended up getting the hoppers out of that inning. And Haranek going down in this one via the swing and the miss. And you had talked about it earlier, Leo. Goatse's with 5 Ks on the day, all of them via the swing and the miss. And here's another one. First one, though, from Haranek on the afternoon. As this one hit on a line out into center field. Ryan McCarrick ranging back. The wind might take it, but instead it gets down off into the warning track. TJ Ward with his first really great hit of the year as he was 1 for 3 coming into play today. Did drive in the 1 run. But that was just a simple base knock. This one definitely got great contact on that. And as there's 1 out, now a runner on second base. Beavers need to make something happen here and get them out of the record of 1-2.
Yeah, that one almost snuck out of here. Looked like it may have just got the base of the wall. Almost a home run. A good day for TJ Ward with that RBI single, which came back in the 4th, the last run that has been scored in this ball game. Almost sends one out, but puts himself on second with a good chance for Alec Oland. The wind,
it's like the sun just disappeared.
Yeah, wind starting to pick up, and Ward used it to his advantage with that long double.
So now the count 2-0, a favorable count here on the left fielder, Oland. He on the day, he's reached base safe twice out of 3 times, but yet to get a hit as he's got 2 fielders' choices so far on the day.
Entered the game hitting .444, had 2 hits on opening night and 4 at-bats.
Great cut there on the 2-0, as you should, but no contact being made. Good job by Neely to get under the bat of Oland.
Yeah, it didn't look like he hung that pitch over the heart of the plate. He did find the outside corner with it, so Oland could not touch it.
Wind blowing out to right field now. It's kind of gone everywhere this afternoon. Love the slider there from Neely. That one, though, just missing on that outside corner as...
Heard some thunder right there.
There it is.
Rain's
and
starting
there
to come
it
down.
goes. So
yep.
Home plate umpire Scott Wolendowski making the call. Tarp is going to come on the field here in this one, and we're going to hope to somehow finalize this baseball game, but we knew once it started it would be tough for it to stop. So we'll take at least a quick break for now. Hopefully we'll be back soon, but not sure exactly how this one is going to go. 1-1 at the moment, home half of the 8th inning, 1 out on the board as TJ Ward will be waiting for his try out there at second base. Alec Oland trying to finish up the at-bat, but for now we'll take a break and hopefully be back sooner than later. If we do not come back all that soon, we will give you an update here in about 10 or 15 minutes or so, but for now, take a break. You're watching and listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody that is still here with us, that tuned in, about the 75 of you or so. Obviously, things were about to be going smoothly for the Beavers in the home half of the 8th as T.J. Ward hit that one-out double to dead center field that almost took its way up and out of the park. Alec Oland was up there at the plate with a 3-1 count, and unfortunately, Mother Nature had other ideas on this Sunday Funday, which was actually cruising through the last couple of innings, but in the end, Mother Nature will end up victorious in this one as we will have to suspend play. Don't worry, of course, with the game being tied at 1-1, we will, in fact, have the finalization of this game the next time that these two teams play. I'm assuming, at least that's how things have gone thus far. But in terms of the weekend as a whole, got to give credit there to the Utica Unicorns, who, through the first two weekends, sitting at 4-1. Eastside sitting at that 2-2 record, and then over on the west half of these divisions, the Beavers sitting at 1-2, and the west side William-Amherst at 1-3 through the first two weekends. But overall, this was a great game from Noah Goetzies and Jerry Salisbury. Salisbury going 6 innings, allowing 1 unearned run on 2 hits, had 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. And then his counterpart, Noah Goetzies, with 6 innings of work. Only 1 run, it was earned on the 6 hits, but the key component, which we brought up right when Goetzies' day was done, was second consecutive start without any walks. So he's gone in total 11 innings to start the year without any base on balls, but had 5 strikeouts in the game today, 1 less than he did in his opening day start. Or excuse me, not his opening day start, but his opening day. And overall, Leo, what'd you see here in this afternoon that unfortunately could not be finished?
Yeah, another well-pitched game. Like I said in my intro today, just a season that has been dominated solely by pitching this year. The bats have yet to, be where they could be. But as they get more at-bats throughout this season, we'll see, a few more home runs. We saw some extra base hits, one that almost made it out in T.J. Ward, who had that almost wall scraper. But RBIs today for the Hoppers, Bryce Peterson with that RBI single in the first, T.J. Ward in the fourth with an RBI single as well. But like you said, great outings from Salisbury and Goetzies. And unfortunate that this one has to be suspended. But we're definitely thankful that we made it through almost 8 innings here.
Yeah, and, normally when there's a rain delay at Jimmy John's Field, our owner, Andy Appleby, and Chief Operating Officer Dana Schmidt, they try their best to, of course, finalize any game that they can, maybe wait it out about a half hour or an hour or so, but with the forecast looming for the remainder of the day, it's going to be pouring throughout, so this game will, in fact, be suspended and played at a later date when these two teams play again. But that'll do it for the second weekend here of the 2019 USPBL season. We have a long one coming up here in the next weekend. We have our first Thursday game coming up this week on the 23rd. It'll be the Westside William-Amherst versus these Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. First time that these two teams will play each other in a public game this year. It'll be actually the College Fair Night, alongside, of course, the Thirsty Thursday, the first of the year, presented by Dave & Buster's, our good friends over there. Then Friday, it'll be the Beavers playing in the back-to-back days. It'll be against the Unicorns on Friday night, as, of course, we have another Friday Fireworks Spectacular. Saturday, 7:05, Unicorns and Hoppers in an Eastside matchup, as it'll be another WCSX Classic Rock Saturday. We'll have the Planet of Fun Band, and then any person that lives in Utica, a resident, will get into the ballpark for free. Then on Sunday, a week from today, it'll be our Bark in the Park, our first annual Bark in the Park, presented by, of course, our good friends at Happy Tales Learning Center for Dogs and Canine Divine. And then Sunday Fun Day, of course, a week from today. And then we will have the 5th game of the weekend on Memorial Day at 1:05. The Beavers and Mammoths will be playing in a Western battle. Of course, it is Memorial Day, a USPBL hat giveaway, and I've seen it already.
That's nice.
It's a camouflage hat. If you are one of the first 1,000 fans, you get one of those spectacular gems there here at Jimmy John's Field. And then it's also $1 day at the ballpark. So not only can you get a nice USPBL hat, but also everything will be $1 at the park. So if you decide to come to a game next weekend, Monday would be a great opportunity there for you to get some nice, fun stuff. But overall, we are said and done here for weekend number 2 at Jimmy John's Field. For my broadcasting partner, Leo Ortel, my name is Rich Borland. You stay classy, Utica.